So for today's video, we're going to be testing out a new eyeshadow palette. So I got this eyeshadow palette in my BoxyCharm a couple months ago. It is the Butter London, I don't even know what it's called. It looks like this. So it has some really pretty, I would say these are more of spring colors than they are really of fall colors, but I remember swatching them and thinking that it's really pretty. So this is the Butter London Natural Goddess palette. So I'm headed to a movie today with my boyfriend and his family and some of our friends, and I just want to play around with this palette and see if I like it or not. So I don't really know what kind of look I'm going to create from it because there's only two mattes in this palette, which are a dark brown and a blue, and the rest are shimmers. So I'm going to have to dabble into a different palette as well to create a look with it. I think that this is kind of a poorly laid out palette. There should be an even number of mattes than there is shimmers. There shouldn't be 4 shimmers and 2 random colors that you can't really base a look out of. So I'm going to go into my James Charles palette as well and try to create just like a natural kind of look with this. So I think I'm going to go into the color Code James in the James Charles palette, and let's just throw that into my crease. And as usual, I laid down the ColourPop concealer before applying my eyeshadow. I went with more of a neutral brown color because I wanted to keep this look fairly neutral because this is a very natural goddess whatever palette. So I'm just keeping it pretty simple. So now I'm going to go into the outer corner with the color Temptress, and I'm going to add that into the outer. So first impressions of this palette, there is a lot of kick up and there is a lot of fallout. So make sure that you do your face second rather than first if you're going to be using this eyeshadow palette, or you're going to make a mess. But that doesn't really bother me because this is the way that I do my makeup always, so I'm not too concerned. So now across the lid, I want to go in with one of the shimmer colors, but I'm going to lay down a base color first. So I'm just going to blend those two colors together really quickly. Now across the lid, I think I'm just going to go in with just kind of a neutral yellow shade. So this is the shade Tune in the James Charles palette. And I'm just going to lay that across the lid portion that isn't covered with the first color. And now I'm going to go in with the color, I think I want to go in with the color Enchantress. So it's this one in the palette. It's really, really shimmery and really pretty. So I have to go grab my setting spray, so I will be right back. So I'm going to go in with my same side of my brush, the shader side, and I'm going to go into the shade Enchantress. And I'm going to coat my brush in that pigment, and then I'm going to use my all-nighter setting spray and get my brush nice and wet. Then I'm going to go over where we laid down the color Tune. So that's really pretty. It's very subtle though. It's not like a really mind-blowing shimmer. So I'm going to go back into the color Temptress and just bring out a little bit of that dark brown color. This is a really pretty brown, kind of smoky eye. It looks really nice. I'm going to go in with a little bit more of that Enchantress color and see if we can make it stand out. Because in the pan it looks really pretty, but on the eye it's just kind of really subtle, and I like my shimmers to be more in your face. That is a little bit better. So I'm just going back into the color Code James and a little bit of Temptress. I'm just going to blend those colors together right in the center. And just a little bit more of Temptress right on where the two colors meet. So that's really pretty. So I'm going to quickly go in and do the exact same thing on the other eye, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just quickly did my foundation and some lashes and a little bit of liner off camera, and now I'm back to do the under eyes with you. So I'm not too sure what I really want to do for the under eyes because this is such a simple natural look that I think I'm just going to go in with the the olive green that's in the palette and see if we can sweep that underneath the waterline. I don't know if it's going to work though because it is a shimmer color, so we shall see and see if it'll work without without the brush being wet. So the shimmers do work on a dry brush, which is really interesting. Most shimmers don't, and it is just a really subtle green, and I think it's really pretty. It's like a very pretty olive green color. So I'm just going to sweep that under my eyes. This would make for a really pretty inner corner. Don't do that again. This would make for a really pretty inner corner pop of a color too. It's just really subtle, but it's really, really pretty. So I think that's going to be everything for this eyeshadow palette. So I'm just gonna quickly do some eyeliner and some mascara. So this is the finished look once everything's on. So I just paired a lipstick with this look. So this is the color Salem by Lime Crime, and I thought it would go good with this kind of brown smoky eye. I think it looks really pretty, and this lipstick is just really vampy and it looks really cool. And then I also recently dyed my hair super orange again. If you haven't seen that video, I will link it right here for you guys in the little eye so you guys can see how I got this color again, because it's not actually dye, it was a Overtone Extreme conditioner. So it is a color depositing conditioner, so it made my hair really, really vibrant. So I'm just gonna zoom you guys out so you guys can see. And I think that this eye look goes really well with my new hair color. So to talk about this palette, I did want to mention that, again, I think that the color story of this palette is a little strange. I think the fact that they have 4 shimmers and 2 random mattes is a little weird. Like, these are the only 2 colors that are mattes in the palette, the rest are shimmers, and as you guys know, you can, I guess, there's no really rules to makeup, but you don't really put shimmers in your crease and stuff, so it makes it hard for you to create a look with just this single palette. So I did have to dabble into my James Charles palette to get some of the colors that I wanted to incorporate with this look. So this isn't a palette that I in particular would use just on my own. It has to be accompanied with another palette, which I find is kind of a miss for me. When I get a palette, I want to be able to do looks with just the single palette and not have to incorporate other looks, because that makes it so that you have to take more than one palette when you're traveling, or when you're going to your friend's house, or when you're doing anything. So I think that's a little bit of a miss. I did get it in my BoxyCharm though, so I don't really remember how much it costs. I'll link it right here for you guys, but it is a really pretty palette. The colors do blend well. They do blend nicely together. This side's a little bit patchy, but I think that's me. I don't really think that was the eyeshadow. I think that was just user error. This side looks absolutely gorgeous, so I don't think it was really the eyeshadow. I think it was literally just me. But I do think that this turned out really pretty. So if you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below for more content like this, and I will see you guys at the next video. Bye!